Arsenal are in big trouble, so once again Arsenal are finding a way to bottle the league, but this time they're bottling it way earlier than last season. No, but seriously, Arsenal have only won one of their last 5 games, collecting 4 points from a possible 15, going from first and now dropping all the way down to 4th. And hear this, they are level on points with Manchester City, who are quote unquote having a bad season, and Man City even have a game in hand.
Pretty much every miserable thing in this shitty fucking universe is fucked and has been fucked since time began.
But today I want to answer one question. Are Arsenal still in the title race after losing to West Ham and Fulham in the same week and dropping all the way to 4th? To answer that, we gotta find where the root of the problem is coming from. But that is where it gets tricky. There's not one area where you can pinpoint and say, oh yeah, there's the problem, but I'm gonna try anyway. Let's start from the back, going up. And when you look at the goalkeeper, you can already find a couple weaknesses in this Arsenal team. I'm not gonna lie, Raya is a good goalkeeper, but he's much like Onana in that he is good on the ball, but when it comes to actually saving shots, he can't do jack shit, making a blunder out of the most easiest saves. A good goalkeeper, but not a keeper you can build something good with. Now let's move on to the defense, but more specifically the 2 fullbacks, Zinchenko and Ben White. I'm a bit more easy on Ben White for one reason, and that's because the amount of games he has been playing is just outright mind-blowing. And there's no real backup because Tomiyasu and Timber are both injured, so the man looks dead tired all the time. But Zinchenko on the other hand, there needs to be serious questions asked about his contribution to the team. Going forward, he's brilliant, there's no doubt about that. The way he drops into midfield and dictates the play is brilliant to watch, but he's a defender first and foremost, and in defensive situations this season, he has been horrendous. I have 2 examples here. The first one is against Villa for their only goal of the game. First, he does a good job by committing the attacker Leon Bailey when he receives the ball. But when the ball is played to Tielemans, instead of sticking to the runner, he goes to commit Tielemans, leaving Bailey one-on-one against Gabriel with tons of space to take him on. And that sequence leads to Villa's goal, which ultimately cost them the game. And for the second instance, well, you know what? Let me just show you the clip and you decide for yourself what he did wrong.
Alexander-Arnold picking the ball up in that central area. And using one of those raking passes to find Salah. And opening Arsenal up. And here is Salah!
Now let's move on to the midfield. But I'm not gonna lie, there's nothing much to criticize about them. Declan Rice and Odegaard have been Arsenal's best players this season. And Havertz looks like he's finally adapting to the team and he's been scoring goals now. So yeah, nothing much to say about this midfield. They just need to keep it up.
Good job.
I wish I could say that about the attack because they are completely discombobulated. Saka first and foremost has the same problem as Ben White, as he has been played to the ground. With or without injury, Prem game or not, he has been playing every single game for Arsenal and England basically since the start of last season. You'd think they would try preserving their star boy and at least getting him a backup, but no, they just play him every game, and I'm scared he's gonna end up like Pedri, who's still struggling with fatigue and injuries stemming from 2021.
I'm tired, boss.
Moving on to the other wing, we have Martinelli, who has looked a shadow of his former self, getting 15 goals in the league last year to now having 2 goals midway through this season. And I think the addition of Havertz has hindered him a bit, because Havertz is a player that doesn't overlap, and he likes to stay on the inside left. And that is usually where Martinelli does his best work. So oftentimes Martinelli finds himself on the wing being doubled by the other team and he just looks lost. Xhaka, who used to do the underlaps, and Tierney, who used to do the overlaps, are both gone, and without them he just doesn't look like Martinelli anymore. And last of all, we have Gabby Jesus. There is really only one word I gotta say here, and that is goals. He doesn't provide enough goals, and I think you have to go out in January and get a striker. Whether it's Tony or Osimhen, they have to do everything they can to get a striker. And if Arsenal don't, I'm sorry Arsenal fans, but you might as well kiss your title hopes goodbye. And with that being said, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe because best believe we are here to take over.